The Dutch have been shamed and shocked by a Jew hunt by Muslims in the streets of Amsterdam last week. I mean, Amsterdam, the city where a Jewish girl, Anne Frank, wrote a famous diary while the family hid from the Nazis until they were betrayed and most of them killed. But on Thursday, the Maccabi Tel Aviv team from Israel played Ajax, the most famous Dutch soccer club, prides itself in its Jewish links. Before the game, already Muslims and anti-Israel activists had planned protests and worse, online. Now, just a warning, some of this footage is really distressing. Adding to the tension, some Israeli fans chanted support for Israel's war and tore down one Palestinian flag. There are reports that some also brawled with the taxi driver, many of whom in Amsterdam are Muslim, as I saw for myself this year. Most Muslim, I would say. On Thursday night, after the game, the violence exploded. Men of Middle Eastern appearance ran down Jewish fans, others chased Jews by foot or scooter, hunting in packs, and bashed them, putting 5 people in hospital and injuring many others.
This for the children! For the children, motherfucker!
I'll give you my money, I'll give you, please.
For the children!
I'll give you my money.
Free Palestine now! Free Palestine!
Women weren't spared either, and some of the mob fired flares at hotels where Jews hid and told anyone they suspected of being Jews to show their passports.
Passport. Passport. Where are you from?
At least one Jew was thrown into a canal and taunted.
Say free Palestine and we go.
Free Palestine!
Good.
Come here, come.
This all added up to exactly what this driver filmed himself saying in Dutch. Today we're going on a Jodenjacht, a Jew hunt.
Vandaag gaan we op Jodenjacht, jongen. Op Jodenjacht.
Now the Jewish fans were warned, don't trust taxis or Ubers. All the Muslim drivers, walk back to your hotels. And the next day the Israeli government sent planes to bring home the fans, but even the day after, Muslim drivers are still reportedly demanding passengers who look Jewish show their passports. The Dutch king has apologised to Israel, and there is now a debate in the Netherlands. Is Islam compatible with Western culture? Indeed, Geert Wilders, the head of the biggest political party in Parliament, tweeted, "Looks like a Jew hunt in the streets of Amsterdam. Arrest and deport the multicultural scum that attacked Maccabi Tel Aviv supporters in our streets." A shame that this can happen in the Netherlands. Totally unacceptable. Joining me from Amsterdam is Dutch politician and columnist Annabel Nanninga, who is in the Dutch Senate, but for years was also on the Amsterdam City Council. Annabel, great to see you again. Look, what did you think looking at those scenes?
Well, first of all, I was overwhelmed with disgust and fear and tremendously worried about how will we ever make this right, because the images you showed, the footage speaks for itself. But this has been the result, of course, of a build-up that's been going on for a long time in Dutch society. A build-up about which the Jaren 20 party, of which I'm a member of, has always warned. And that problem is obviously the young men that you see here are 3rd, 4th generation Islamic, Moroccan mostly immigrants. They still have not integrated, have not accepted our Western way of life, have no tolerance for Jews, for women, for gays, for anyone other than themselves, really. And now finally we see what erupting, what we have been warning for all these years. And also City Council and the Mayor of Amsterdam is largely to blame, but mostly I'm appalled and disgusted and very ashamed that this could happen here in Amsterdam.
Now, Annabel, on pro-Palestine sites, even in Australia, we're seeing claims that, well, the Muslims were the real victims here. They were provoked by racist Israeli fans, apparently tearing down a flag justifies bashing people and throwing them into canals. Do you buy that excuse?
No, it's usually so. You see it after every Islamic attack that quickly the Muslims are quick to claim victimhood for themselves. In this case, the flag you saw ripped off. It wasn't right to do that. Let me say that first. It's not right to destroy other people's property, but it's absolutely no reason to go on a Jew hunt, as they literally said in footage. There were a few Maccabi supporters that did some shouting and rioting and pulled down the flag, but there were about a dozen cops, riot police and cops, that spoke to a famous Dutch crime reporter for the largest Dutch newspaper, and they all stated this is absolutely not true, that the Israeli fans were in any way responsible or provoking these types of attacks. And also, we have seen soccer hooliganism, unfortunately, more often. And it has never led to packs of people hunting down people from a certain country or certain ethnicity in the streets, aided by cab drivers who were telling them exactly in which hotels the Jews were to be found. We have never seen before anything like this. Also, hotel personnel being in on it. And just targeting basically anyone who is Jewish. It wasn't about the Maccabi fans. You hear that in the footage that they themselves posted online proudly for the world to see. They're constantly mentioning the Jews, not Maccabi fans, not soccer hooligans. So no, there's absolutely no excuse, no provocation for what has happened here.
Just picking up on what you just said about how it's gone on social media, I think there's a very important difference here. Which to me suggests a cultural difference. You've got Jews showing this violence, video, filmed by the Muslim attackers themselves, most of it, almost all of it. They've shown this violence, the Jews, assuming people looking at it will be horrified. Muslims are showing exactly the same clips on social media sites such as Gaza Now and Telegram, but they're doing it to celebrate it. What does that tell you?
Well, it's an echo of what we have unfortunately also seen happening in Israel itself, not only on October 7th, but every time also in the intifadas when Palestinian terrorists make victims or hurt people, they will share the footage, they will celebrate it, and they want not only to show their dominance in the streets here, they also want us to be terrified. Well, I can tell you, I've been in touch all weekend with many Jews in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. They are afraid, but they are very, very resilient, and they will not let their liberties be taken away by these thugs. But they do need support from our government, from the mayor of Amsterdam, right now, because this has been going on too long, and this has been also building up since October 7th, 2023, when all these so-called pro-Palestinian protests were allowed to get further and further out of hand. And now this is what you get.